Six chill, fool, for real, for real.
Judah, 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 Judah. Judah, 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 Judah. The scepter will never leave Judah. The scepter will never leave Judah. The scepter will never leave Judah. I'm Judah. Christ sprang out of Judah. King David was Judah. King Asa was Judah. Don't crowd me up, who gon' rouse me up? Alistair Crowley, your time is up. It's a big mess, I gotta clean it up. Esau, the end of my kingdom's up. On the eagle's neck, I'll press. I woke up from my rest. I woke up from my arrest. My rulership is up next. No vex. Judah, 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 Judah. Judah, 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 Judah.
Shalom, Israel. Shalom. We're here at ISBSBK, Norfolk, Virginia, and the address of our school is 2016 Granby Street. Our class times are Tuesdays and Thursdays from 7 to 9 p.m., as well as Fridays from 7 to 9 p.m. But we in Houston, we also have a school in Houston as well, 8524 South Braeswood Boulevard, Houston, Texas. Their class times are on Monday and Wednesdays from 7 to 9 p.m., and they host a Sabbath morning class from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. And we also have the school in San Antonio, and that's at 444 Walden Road, Suite 201, San Antonio, Texas. 782 is the zip code, 218. And we also working on a building in Albuquerque. And the feast that we have upcoming, and you should be able to see this on the YouTube channel. It'll let you know all the information. But it's on Passover is on April 4th. And if you haven't RSVP, you should RSVP now.
Some of that stuff on there. The RSVP is over.
Come.
There ain't nothing. If you missed it, you missed it.
Come. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
And we also.
If you missed it and you're going, just hit us up. We're gonna have to figure something out.
Come. Yes, sir. And then we also have the Blog Talk Radio. All that information also will be on the screen. It's Mashaba's Blog Talk Radio. It's blogtalkradio.com/Mashaba, and that's Tuesdays and Thursdays at 10 a.m. And then we also have the Hidden Truth, the 5 Minutes of Wisdom, and the Israelite Media Corp. So those are also other channels linked to this YouTube channel, so you can check us out. And then we have the Israel Wear is currently postponed right now due to Passover. They're working on all the garments. So being that they already have like a week and a half left. So they're finishing up those garments, getting those done for Passover. So right now, currently, Israel is postponed. And then we also have Hebrew Academy out there in Houston. It's every Tuesday, and they do a live Zoom if you're not local. But then in Virginia, it's every Wednesday. So you can contact the priest as well during class, text only during class. But you can contact the priest if you need any counsel. You just need to talk about it, something, let them know what's going on. You can contact Priest Kazakia at 757-300-4047, and then you can contact Priest Kwagazak at 303-557-8979. And then we also have the Sweet Ambiance. So if you like to support the business, we're at sweetambiance.com, because we have the business in the mall as well, and that's what supports the school. So if you'd like to support us, we'll greatly appreciate it. So, and any donations, also that'll be on the YouTube screen. On the live stream, and we have the Wells Fargo account. If you would like to donate, if it's in your heart, if you would love to, it's 101-5806-06.
It's up there, bro. Yeah, they don't have to give all that. They know that. We're gonna go ahead and open up with questions. Start out, see if anybody has any questions, and if not, we're gonna go into. There's a few questions I've been asked, and I was gonna go over. Yeah.
How did Solomon just have one kid? Like being that all the wives he had and things like that. How do you just have one kid?
He just had one kid.
Okay. And
Like, that's a question. I don't know. You was shooting blanks? Whatever. Go ahead,
But yeah, but my second one is I was having a talk with my friend, and I know it's wrong and it's a sin, but how do you go about after really I haven't recalled seeing it in the scriptures. How do you prove that suicide is wrong? You know, it's a difference between being a martyr and suicide.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it doesn't. It doesn't say that suicide is not used in that word.
Mm-hmm.
So the best way to go about it is go to Exodus. Go to Exodus. This is the way, the only way, truthfully, you can go about it. Because there's nothing direct that'd say that you weren't supposed to commit suicide. There's none in there. Go to Exodus 20 and 13. I know it's simple, but that's what you have to go to. Read it. I know you know it, but Exodus 20 and 13.
Exodus chapter 20, verse 13.
Uh-huh.
Thou shalt not kill.
Right. So
because it's like killing yourself.
Yeah, you were supposed to kill. That was in the power of the Most High. You weren't supposed to take a life,
Right.
including your own. Right? You can go about it that way, but yeah, there's not a lot of scriptures on the subject, but you can go into the killing scriptures. You weren't supposed to take a life, including your own. Go about it that way.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Kind of. Was that it?
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else? Anything else online? See if y'all got any other questions. If not, I do have a question that I'm going to answer. So I'm just trying to give y'all a second to see if anybody got anything. For y'all that don't know, we have our High Holy Day, the Passover. We're going to be doing it on April 4th. So we won't be back. We won't be here. We won't be live on none of our channels from the 30th to the 6th. So, well, let me not say that. Houston probably will go live, but we're not. We're gonna leave. We're leaving here a few days earlier to go commemorate the High Holy Day. So we won't be here. I'm not gonna say Houston won't. I'm gonna get the schedule. I'm gonna get their schedule. So yeah, I'm just waiting to see if anybody got anything online. Once again, we gotta get out, get the word out. Use the YouTube channel. Share the stream. All right, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, wherever you use. I'm gonna actually send a link out. I met a brother the other day. So if nobody got any questions, I'm gonna go into the question that I've gotten. They wanted us to answer this. So there's nothing online? No? Okay. Alright, so yeah. So the question is on why is it necessary to counsel? Because we do a lot of it. We do a lot of it, and we make moves. A lot of our moves are with counsel. A lot of what we deal with is with counsel. a lot of brothers and sisters that watch us, like we do it with counsel every day, all day, so the mistakes won't be made. A lot of what you do in the past, or what was done in the past, was because you didn't have correct counsel, right? So, real quick, what is the definition of counsel? It's important because, you see us moving, well, do we got to do everything? Do we got to counsel over everything? Let's find out. Biblically, we're going to see. What do you got?
Counsel.
And once again, this is a question. So if y'all got any questions after this, or during class, just put them in there, and then we'll jump. After we get rid of this, we'll go to the next question. What you got for that? Get the door.
An advisory, a body of people elected to manage the affairs of a city, county, or municipal district.
Okay, you got anything? What you got?
Counsel. Advice.
Right, there you go. So it's good, like when you look up the definitions out, it's good for you to look in Google, but then you want to go to like the Bible, the King James, or the 18, what is it, the 1828? Yeah, because that way it can be what we're going over. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
So once again, for y'all that's walking in, the question is, why is it necessary to counsel? Because we got to counsel about everything. You know what I mean? Obviously, I ain't got to counsel with you about going to the bathroom or things like that, right? But what did we counsel about? What did we deal with when it comes to, what did it say?
Advice.
So counsel is just advice, right? It's advising. And what is the biggest problem with our people in the world? They what?
They don't like advice.
That's one. They don't like it. I wasn't coming from that perspective, but right. They don't like advice, but they what?
They don't take the right type of advice.
There you go. Another one. Y'all are going good. There's a first stage. What?
I was just saying, people like to.
Let me just say this, because y'all are on the right track. But I think the first step is missed. They don't ask for advice. You're all right. But before all those, they do not ask for advice. Nobody's trying to hear something that's going to take them out of what their comfort zone is. So they don't want to hear that. I'm going to duck you, I'm going to dodge you, and is that necessary? Yeah, it's necessary. We're going to find out. So advice, what else?
Or instruction.
Right, so advice is instruction. Advice is instruction. So you're being instructed. So, off of the definition itself, we can say, okay, case closed. Let's go ahead and move on to the next question, right? But it ain't that simple. Go ahead.
Advice or instruction given upon request or otherwise.
So given upon request or otherwise. So that's counsel, right? So let's just jump right into it. 32, Ecclesiastes 32 and 19. Because what we're going to see is that Israelites did everything with counsel. We did everything getting advice. Why? Because we were wise. We were intelligent. We understood how to do things. And a lot of these different points are going to come out during the topic. But, of course, we did everything with advice. You need counsel. Ecclesiastes 32. The importance of counseling. Go ahead, read that.
This is the
book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 32, and verse 19.
Go ahead.
Do nothing without advice.
Do what?
Do nothing without advice.
Well, why y'all always like? Do we gotta talk about everything? I mean, read it again.
Do nothing without advice.
Okay, so we can end it there, right? And move on, right? Nah, do nothing without advice. We supposed to be moving with wisdom. We supposed to be moving with the correct counsel. We supposed to be removing with the correct advice. This is one of the biggest problems with us, with our people, is that they don't ask for advice and they just jump into things. Right? I wouldn't get that used car. You get the used car, guess what it is? It's a brick now. It, like we told you, but you ain't listening. It's like, but you were like, well, I figured, well, but if you would have, see, advice is not putting a gun to your head and saying, look, you have to go this way. Advice is you being able to see different perspectives and a wider view of what you're dealing with. Oh, damn, I never thought of that. Yeah, man, the used car, this car, how many miles it got on it? This brother had one of those, this brother had one of those, this sister had, you know what? I wouldn't do that. Now, you can do what you want, but the wise way to do things is through advice. So you can at least have consideration of different perspectives of what you're doing. Then you will see why counsel is needed. Because when your advice in your own brain doesn't work, you will start seeing, okay, now I see why the Most High said, do all things through advice. So that's the point of it. You know what I mean? We've had that many times. There's a car in my parking lot right now, sitting there. If they would have did things through advice and asked, we would have told them that is not a good option. But what happened? Nah, I can run off 100 things and excuses why, and so we got cool. No problem. Remember, I gotta always say we're not a cult, but still biblically, don't ask me or don't say we're doing it wrong when we do what we do biblically. You see what I'm saying? You can't say, oh, well, why we got to ask this brother? Because we do things like the Bible says. Remember, that's why we're here, right? We're doing things like, no more like you did it in the world. You got your woman, well, what? No advice. You counsel, but your counselor was lust. You know what I mean? Damn, yeah, she thick. You know what I mean? Like, who I got to talk to? Right? Who I gotta talk to? You talking with you and little man. That's not the advice. That's not the counsel. You see, so you gotta see that decision-making businesses. Some of us learn from big hard fails. Big hard fails. You know what I mean? We had a hot dog spot. We had a liquor store. We had many things, and there was different variables in there why those things weren't productive. You see, unity wasn't there. The money wasn't there. So experience, wisdom will help further everything. You see. How many brothers have failed at failed relationships? Now, how many of those failed relationships failed? Now, if you keep counting, then that means you don't know how to take your own advice. Because you keep making the same decisions over and over. So, now I can't listen to your advice because you're not applying your own advice. Which is what? I make bad decisions. You see? But a wise person learns from their mistakes and understand what road not to go back down. So once again, the question is about why is advice necessary? Do we got to counsel about what we're going to do after here? Do we got to counsel? Yes, because we do things in unity. So we want everybody to be on the same page. You're the oddball. You're trying to do things opposite, and like you did in the world, and that deals with individualism. Now, once again, advice is not necessarily you always have to go by it. Like, nobody puts a gun to your head. Hey, you going to come to Hebrew Academy. Every Tuesday, whatever, right? You going to come to school. You going to come to class. Like I was telling the sister Lashana, those days are over. The height, we pushing you. No, it's free will. So advice is free will. You can listen or not. And then you will see if the counsel was wise or not, because you'll keep going through the same situations over and over again because you don't want to listen to counsel. Y'all get that? So this is why advice, counsel is good. So read that where you're at.
This is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 32 and verse 19.
Go ahead.
Do nothing without advice.
So do nothing without advice. Go to Judges 20 verse 18. When we as Israelites moved, we moved with wise counsel, with wisdom, intelligence. We didn't just move. We didn't just move off of our emotions. We didn't just move off of being uneducated. What is the biggest problem with blacks and Hispanics? What's one of the major curses that's not in Deuteronomy, that's in Hosea, that is our problem? Who knows? What?
My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge.
My people destroyed for lack of knowledge. So we think we can do things without knowledge. We think we can do things without knowing. Right? And that's the problem with us, is that we think everything's going to be the same way when we come in the truth. Advice with me is easy. I learned it way back when I first opened the first school I went to in Colorado. I knew, woe to him that is left alone. I knew that. I knew I couldn't do it by myself. So to me, I cherish counsel. You know what I mean? I cherish, I listen, I hear, right? I hear brothers out. Not only my peers, but also my, what you might call subordinates. I'm going to hear you out. I'm going to hear what you got to say. Why? Because it might be wise input. A fool sometimes can speak wise. Yeah, no, I'm saying that. I'm not saying a brother's a fool. What I'm saying is that if you discount everything, you might miss a little advice that's good. Right? So Judges 20 verse 18.
This is the book of Judges 20 and 18.
And then you're going to get Samuel. Judges 20 verse 18. Oh, wow. Jesus. Thank you. Go ahead, read that.
And the children of Israel arose and went up to the house of Yahweh and asked counsel of Yahweh.
Right, so he asked counsel of the Most High. Now, I'm not going to take Quatzazop's class, but y'all know that the Most High does, at one time, he ascended as a fire and the angels would talk to us. The angel spoke to Moses. The angel don't speak to us no more. Then from the angel, it went to the Urim and the Thummim, right, which was rubies that would shine up in light and tell you yes or no. And then it went from there, it went to the prophets. The Most High would talk that way. Then it went on, right? None of that happens no more. Nobody has a Urim and Thummim. So, when we counsel with the Most High, how do we do it? Right. We do it with the body. We do it with brothers with wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. So, some of these questions, man, that is asked, I say to myself, damn, this is a no-brainer. look at your life. Like, when brothers ask questions like this, I'm not saying it's a good question. I'm just saying that, like, this one should be a no-brainer. Instead of looking at us and saying, wait, man, y'all counsel with stuff too much. Y'all like, that's ridiculous. Now you sound like a Christian. Now you sound like a Christian telling me that us trying to do things without we're making the less mistakes. We're trying to make the less possible mistakes as you can. You know what I mean? So you gotta look at your life and ask yourself, why is your life in shambles? Because a lot of times brothers don't want to go and deal with counsel. You want to hide and duck and dodge and be deceptive and secret because you don't want nobody to tell you what you don't want to hear. But the Bible is telling us, man, do nothing with advice. When these men of the past, when they dealt with counsel. So for the brother that came in, read where you at again.
From the top?
Yeah.
This is the book of Judges 20 and 18. And the children of Israel arose and went up to the house of the Most High and asked counsel of the Most High and said, which of us shall go up first to the battle against the children of Benjamin? Yeah, so what and y'all know the story. Israel was warring with each other. But the point in here is like, we judge when we make moves. We counsel when we made moves. You see? We didn't just move. So, I'm going to say it again, and I'm going to say it through this whole point of this whole question is that look at your life and see why it is what it is. Why you got 5 baby mamas? Why you got 7 child supports? Why you got the things that fail? Why you got these things? Because you ain't counseling with nobody but your lack of knowledge. Why would we come in the truth and do the same thing? That's ignorant as hell. We're just going to be making the same mistakes in the truth. So now we set up to where we have wise counsel. We do things through calculated wisdom before we make moves. That way we won't keep making the same mistakes. But that's you looking in the mirror to say, damn, hey, Shalom, I'm bad at dealing with women. Could you give me some counsel? Bad, But that's if you want to hear counsel, yeah.
I had a scripture, but I don't know if it's jumping.
Yeah, please hold that. Because if it's on counsel, most likely I will. I got it, all right? So go to 2 Samuel 15 and 12. Yeah, because there's a sequence of how I'm going through this. Go ahead.
2 Samuel chapter 15, verse 12. And Absalom sent forth Amminadab. Well, I'm not pronouncing this.
How you say that again? Anithophel. Go ahead.
Ahithophel and Galilee, David's counselors from his city. Right,
so David had what?
Counselors.
Wait a minute. David the wise man, the one that wrote all these psalms? He wasn't the king and acting like, listen, I'm king shit and nobody can tell me nothing? Bro, I don't need to know that. No, he dealt with counsel. You understand? That heat. I like that. Y'all see this? So, remember, counsel is advice. Now, we can obviously go into this topic and talk about what advice you're getting. Because that's another thing. We're not talking about your mama's advice. Your mama ain't teaching you out of this book. We're not talking about your grandfather's advice. They're not teaching you on this, because the Bible tells you about bad advice too, on who to counsel with. You're not going to counsel with the dope dealer, the drug head, and you can't counsel with yourself. That's bad at counsel. Right? Go ahead. Go ahead.
Even from Gilad, while he offered sacrifices, and the conspiracies were strong.
Right. So the thing is this, that we have to counsel. We got to communicate when we make our decisions. You gonna keep making. Listen, you follow the Bible or don't. Like, it's working for me. You know what I mean? So remember, these are questions. You know what I mean? These are questions that brothers and sisters ask. But y'all got to see that. You got to see that the Bible, God is true and every man's a lie. Don't try to make me feel bad because I'm doing the work of the Most High and I'm doing it the right way. You're the one that's wrong. You ain't following the scriptures. You off. You're not gonna come in and be like, well, brothers y'all gotta counsel about everything. You gotta counsel about. Yes, Negro. Because you don't know how to counsel. You don't know how to deal with wisdom. You don't know how to follow. You don't know how to lead. Please stop coming around us thinking that you know. Please stop it. If you know, please go get a YouTube, open up the YouTube, and y'all teach. And if you know, then guess what the Most High is going to do? He's going to bless the works of your hands. That's how it works. But don't come up in here thinking you know when it's obvious you don't know. Look at your life. Look at your situations. Look at the minor situations you're in. The small things that you fell into. Because you're not doing it with wisdom and advice. Go from there, go to 2 Samuel 16 and 20. 2 Samuel 16 and 20.
2 Samuel chapter 16, verse 20.
Go ahead.
Then said Absalom to Apophia,
go ahead.
give counsel among you what we shall do.
Right. Give counsel among you what we shall do. Because these guys were moving with wisdom. See why I jumped chapters? Why? To show y'all, look at what the Bible is talking about. They were dealing with situations that took advice. You see that? And then correctly applying the advice. Let me say that again. Correctly applying the advice. Oh, I counseled, but it didn't work. No, you didn't apply it correctly. Stop it. So this is what you see: David, Solomon, Solomon's men, Absalom, his son. Even though we know Absalom was going off, but he was still dealing with counsel. Now, when you go into Absalom, he started dealing with bad counsel, wicked counsel. Right? That's why the Most High put him to death. Because he started following his own mind and evil men. Go from there. Read that. Okay. Go to 1 Kings 12 and 1. 1 Kings 12 and 1. And look. Remember, y'all can go back and read the whole context of what they're talking about. That way y'all can get the essence of the story. But we'll be here a little bit longer if we do that in every situation we're reading about. But we are going to do it right here. Read that.
This is the book of 1 Kings, chapter 12 and verse 1. And Rehoboam.
And Rehoboam.
Went to Shechem. For all Israel were come to Shechem to make him king.
Right.
And it came to pass, when Jeroboam, the son of Nebat, who was yet in Egypt, heard of it, for he was fled from the presence of King Solomon,
right,
to Jeroboam, dwelt in Egypt.
Right, so we know Rehoboam is Solomon's son. Okay? So he's taking over the kingdom now. Alright? Now he's finna stand in his dad's stead. Right? And he took over the southern kingdom? Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. And then Jeroboam took over the northern kingdom. Okay, which was the servant of David. Right? So, servant of Solomon, excuse me. Go ahead.
Verse 3.
They
that sent him, they that sent and called him, and Jeroboam, and all the congregation of Israel,
right,
came and spake unto Rehoboam, saying, thy father made her yoke grievous.
Right, so all Israel came before him, and the king, they're speaking to the king. They're saying, listen, your father made things hard. Right? Put us under grievous bonds, right? Go ahead.
Now therefore, make thou the grievous service of thy father, and his heavy yoke, which he put upon us, lighten.
Right, so they're saying to him, listen, please lighten us up. Right? Take this burden that he put on us, take that off of us. Go ahead.
And we will serve thee.
Right?
And he said unto them, depart yet for 3 days, then come again to me.
Why? 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 We're going to find out. We're going to find out. Go ahead.
And the people departed, and King Rehoboam consulted with the old men that stood before Solomon.
Wait, he consulted with who?
The old men.
So, he going to consult with the old men, right? Let's see who had wisdom. He consulted with the old men, the ancients, right? Remember the days of the old. Ask thy father, and he shall tell thee. Right? We always pull it as street speaking. The elders have ceased from the gates, right? So he went to the elders. He went to the cast that had a little more experience, right? That was rolling with David. That was up there in that stead. Go ahead.
They stood before Solomon, his father, while he yet lived, and said,
you see that? That stood before Solomon. I keep saying David. Excuse me. That stood before Solomon, his father, right? So they were around rolling with Solomon. They know how he rolls. Right? Go ahead.
And said, how do ye advise that I may answer this people?
Go ahead.
And they spake unto him, saying,
so what did Rehoboam go do? He went and got counsel. He didn't move rashly, man. He said, listen, give me 3 days, and then we're going to go ahead and come back to you. Right? He didn't move on his own. This is how kings roll. Right? We move with wisdom, knowledge, understanding, man. Y'all got to see that niggas are trash. Because that's what the white man bred. Trash. But Israelite men, kings, we gonna be gods. What is a nigga? Not me, not you. But there is niggas out there. We're not niggas, but there is niggas out there. And it's in the context of ignorant, foolish, dumb, deaf, blind, right? It's what the so-called white man put in their head. We didn't move like that. That's why a lot of mistakes we made in our youth. A lot of mistakes we made in our youth because we did things our own way. Now you got a life to think about that mistake. To deal with that punishment. You see that? So why? It should be a no-brainer why to do things with advice. So Jeroboam went and counseled with the old men. Go ahead.
Verse 7. And they spake unto him, saying, if thou wilt be a servant unto this people this day.
Go ahead.
and will serve them and answer them and speak good words to them.
Right.
Then they will be thy servants forever.
So he said, listen, man. Basically, let up the burden. Right? Be one with the people. Right? The scripture says, win the love of the congregation. So that's the counsel they gave him.
Right.
Go ahead.
Verse 8. But he forsook the counsel.
But he what?
He forsook the counsel.
But he what?
Forsook the counsel.
He forsook the counsel. And he had that prerogative. But we're going to see, did that turn out good for him? No. We're not going to go over the whole story, but it didn't turn out good for him. But who did he listen to? Read on.
But he forsook the counsel of the old men, which they had given him, and consulted with the young men.
He did what?
Consulted with the young men.
That's typical Israel. I'm going to go talk with somebody that's as dumb as me, that got the same problems. That's the one I want to talk to. I don't want to talk to nobody that's going to tell me not to go that way, not to do that. So it's a typical thing that we do because our ego, our pride, we don't want to hear it. So you'll go talk, think about it. You'll talk to somebody in the world quicker than than the truth. Why? Because they will listen to you. Yeah, listen. They're doing that the whole time. Yeah, see, I feel you. I don't know why he's messing with them anyway. Work. All right, and then they just throwing one-liners in there. I wouldn't be doing it. Right? Yeah, what? The whole 3 hours, and you're thinking, man, that's a friend.
Like they feel it.
That's a friend. See that brother, and then you get the brother, and he's like, and then the scripture, it's like, well, every time we talk, you gotta give me the Bible. Like, no, the bell haven't rung yet. Like, that's all we do. Y'all don't get it. You enter the university and you want us to still deal like niggas in the world. You still want us to think like niggas in the world. And we're supposed to look at you and be like, damn, you know what? Let's do it your way. The guy that got 5 baby daddies, the guy that got 7 child supports, the one that don't know how to take care of his finances, the one that don't know how to get out of his situation. Y'all are tripping. Hell no. No. We've been there. We did that. We've been moving without wisdom and understanding. We've been moving without counsel. We've been moving without advice. We're scared. I'm scared. Zion. You know what I mean? And how many times you see with us do it all the time, daily?
Yeah, consistently.
Consistently. Hey, Shalom, what y'all think about that? What's this? Well, what's your input? What's this, brother? Oh, right? And we just, okay. Well, we got to go with the best counsel. You know what? 2 of us are saying the same thing. 3 of us are saying the same thing. Let's go with it. You see? And that's the problem, is that you're going and advising what the foolish part of you or the fool in the world. We do everything like that. So when you come to us and you be like, well, I asked counsel and it didn't work. Most of your counsel don't work because you don't apply it correctly. You apply it in nigga mentality. So it don't work for you. Right? Or like I have to do now when it comes to counsel with brothers, women, I'm like, okay, let me explain this to you. First of all, you've already created a whole dilemma. So my little counsel is not going to change your whole perspective. And that's a lot of time. You think that the little counsel you tried to do at that one time is going to change the path that you just set on fire. It ain't going to happen. So now I got to remind you, okay, you done set up so many things and messed up in so many ways, there's a lot of things that need to be done. it's just not going to be one thing. So counsel is needed, man. We do things through wisdom and understanding. Where you at?
Verse 8.
Right. I'm sorry. Finish that. Finish that real quick. Verse 8.
And he forsook the counsel of the old men, which they had given him, and consulted with the young men,
right,
that were grown up with him.
Go ahead. Right. He went to the young men that were grown up with him, the same guys that probably got destroyed with him, right? The same guys that are doing things off like him, right? That's what we tend to do. And that's not wise. Go ahead.
And which stood before him. And he said unto them, what counsel give ye, that we may answer this people?
Go ahead.
Who have spoken to me, saying, make the yoke which thy father did put upon us lighter. And the young men that were grown up with him spake unto him, saying, thus shalt thou speak unto this people.
So what did they tell him? Go ahead.
That spake unto thee, saying, thy father made thy yoke heavy, but make thou it lighter unto us. Thus shalt thou say unto them, my little finger shall be thicker than my father's loins.
Right. So he's saying, listen, I'm gonna lay it on you. My little finger is gonna be thicker than my father's loins. Right? So now back in those days, man, we were fully endowed. So you gotta see the analogy. You gotta see what he was saying. Right? Go ahead.
Verse 11. And now whereas my father.
Speed it up a little bit. Go ahead.
And now whereas my father did lay you with a heavy yoke, I will add to your yoke. My father has chastised you with whips, but I will chastise you with scorpions.
So he didn't listen to the elders. He listened to the young men, and those events right here, it led to a snowball effect of things going on. And that's why you got to watch what advice you take. Watch. Hold that real quick. Go to, what is it, Psalms? Let me throw that one in there. Psalms 1 and 1. Go there real quick.
Psalms chapter 1 and verse 1. Blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly.
You see? See, that's what happened. He walked in the counsel of the ungodly. So now it's a snowball effect of things going on. You see that? So you got to watch who you counsel with. You got to see, man, a lot of these people that counsel, they're counseling for their own benefit. They're not counseling because they want to tell you the right thing. It's easy, though. Are they counseling you out of the scriptures?
Wow.
That should be are they giving you the knowledge? If they're giving you the scriptures, then then that's when you should listen to the counsel. What's up, Ariel?
I had two research just on this one.
Con.
It'll be quick.
Yeah, I know it'll be quick. Oh, hold that. Go to because he see where I'm going. Go where you at.
Ecclesiastes chapter 20 and verse 32.
Come.
I should have sent it to you.
20 and verse 32.
Read that.
Ecclesiasticus chapter 20, verse 32. Necessary patience and seeking the Lord is better than he that leadeth his life without a guide.
Okay, I want you to read it again. I want you to slow down a little bit and then hold your book up so you can project. Let's try it again, please.
So Rock chapter 20, verse 32. Necessary patience in seeking the Lord is better than he that leadeth his life without a guide.
So necessary patience is is needed in seeking the Most High, it said, seeking the Lord, then he that leadeth his life without a guide. So what do we need when we lead our life? We need patience, right? And then we need a guide. The guide is wisdom. The guide is knowledge. The guide is understanding. And it's simple. If you're bad at decision making, if you keep making the wrong decisions, if your life been turned upside down for the moves you make, you should just be asking. I'll say it again for y'all that came in. Counsel's not about forcing. Counsel's about being able to see all the different moves on the chessboard.
Right.
Being all the different moves on the chessboard, not just one move. Right? So necessary patience is needed. Go to Malachi 3 verse 16. Malachi 3 verse 16. Go ahead.
Malachi chapter 3 verse 16. They that feared the Lord spake often one to another.
What did you think they were doing when they spake to each other?
Counsel.
They were dealing with counsel, advice, dealing with wisdom. They weren't talking about who's on Twitter and how many cars Jay-Z has. They weren't talking about that. They weren't talking about what frivolous YouTube or non-essential knowledge that did you know? Man, did you know that Beyonce, she had 75 different bras? What? Like, and it'd be that ridiculous. It'd be like, why? Like, why do you want? I don't care about that. Like, nobody cares about that. Why want to know that? What is that going to add up to me? What is that going to do to me? So this is why you got to pay attention to who you're counseling with. So read it one more time.
The book of Malachi, chapter 3, verse 16. They that feared the Lord spake often one to another. And the Lord hearkened and heard it. And a book of remembrance was written before them.
So we got to understand why we're around brothers and sisters. You're around brothers and sisters and knowing them that labor amongst you to understand what is needed. What is needed in your life. It's not just to hang out and be buddies. Hang out and just be around each other. You're supposed to be getting wisdom. Why do you think this cat John laid in the bosom of Yahushua? What do you think John was doing laying in the bosom of Christ?
Soaking up knowledge.
You think he was sitting there, Yahweh talking about holes? What do you think the apostles were on when they was hanging around with Yahushua? You got to ask yourself. They was on spiritual things. They weren't on these things counseling about foolishness. They was trying to get advice that was going to lead them to life. When Esdras, we went over it in Sabbath class. Esdras was constantly going back to the angel. What was he asking him about? Huh? Both of y'all talk. Go ahead. What?
He was asking for the petition of Israel.
Right. What else was he asking? You said something. You freezing on me. You said something. What'd you say?
Never mind. He's also asking how long is the wicked going to be in rulership over Israel.
Yeah, there was you got to see that why we do what we do. Y'all got to stop coming to the truth with a mind of the world and thinking that it's gonna fix you. You got to change your mind to the mind that the Most High said change to. Your way don't work. The Most High's way does. Right. So go from there. Go to Matthew 18 and 20. Read that.
Matthew 18 and verse 20.
Go ahead.
For where 2 or 3 are gathered together in my name,
right,
there am I in the midst of them.
So the brother that asked the question, I'm hoping this answers your question that why we do things through counsel, because the scriptures say do nothing without advice. Wise men, we sit down and we pontificate on knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. The next moves we're going to do to edify, to build, to strengthen our nation. The next moves we want to do to deal with brothers and sisters. So you can't demonize us because we're doing things the right way. Every move got to be made with counsel. It says do nothing without advice. Alright? So where 2 or 3 is, there's gathered in my name. Why? Why? All those everything we just went over, why is this scripture important right there? Why did I go there? Who knows? Who's with me? Why?
Because when it's more than this,
You gotta talk louder. Right?
because when it's when you a group of brothers around, say a situation come up and you need you need advice or you need help.
Y'all gotta catch it. It's gonna hit his bag. Y'all pick y'all stuff up. So say it again, huh?
Like when you have a group of brothers, say like a situation come up, you can handle that situation better than there's a group of brothers compared to you by yourself.
Right. So you can handle the situation better. What else? What?
Yeah, to add on what he's saying, everybody experiences something different. So, and like he was saying, being that everybody experienced a little bit of something different, we all can add into it.
Right, you can add into it, right? What?
It's Christ himself dealt with counsel.
Christ himself dealt with counsel. You had your hand raised, Mike?
Yeah, I was going to say.
You got to talk loud so they can hear you online.
You can see different viewpoints.
There you go. It's about seeing different viewpoints. Another reason. Why? Why? Because your mind is going to tell you one way. Right? So you need the brother there. Christ said go out in 2s and 3s and not in 1s.
That's right.
Why? Because that brother left in his own mind. Why do you think all this madness is online? Because you got one man in his own damn mind making his own decisions and nobody's telling him, that's crazy. Nobody's checks and balance for that brother. So that's why Christ said goes in 2s and 3s. So if they often spake to each other, somebody is always checking each other. Y'all get this? Go to Proverbs 24 and 6. Go ahead.
It's the book of Proverbs, chapter 24 and verse 6.
Go ahead.
For by wise counsel thou shalt make thy war.
Now, once again, how many battles have you went into and you didn't do correct counsel? You got to think about that. Brothers and sisters have been in so many battles and you didn't do the correct counsel, and look where it got you. And I know. You stubborn as hell. Where it got you is exactly where you want to be, right? Because you're going to make it right in your own mind. Oh, we're going to get into that. Yeah, we know Israel. I haven't made no bad decisions. Con, I know, brother. Because you don't want to recognize your faults and your mistakes and your mess-ups. You know what I mean? You don't want to recognize the things that the Most High checked you. He checked you on things, but you won't realize that. What?
A lot of people been pacified like that. That mentality into us has been programmed.
Right.
You got your mom and your parents telling you, "Oh, baby, go with your heart or go what you feel." But when you go to the pastor, the pastor be like, "Well, son, you got to go to your closet and just pray about it."
Right.
So now you're looking for this this voice to come down from the heavens to tell you what to do, but really you in your own mind making decisions based off of how you feel about it because it's what mom told you. So now when it comes to advice, and a brother be like, no, boom, 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 now you feel some type of way about it because that's not how you want to do it. Because mom said, do what's on my heart. Mom said, do what I feel like doing. Go follow my heart or follow my emotions.
Then they come up, and I'm not going to even say here only, but then they will say, oh, you know what? Those cats try to control too much stuff. Once again, we can't control nothing. You do what you want to do. If you want to jump off the damn roof, jump off the roof. We're going to tell you what. We're going to do our part, what the Hamashiach said do, and tell you what. That wouldn't be wise. You're probably going to hurt yourself. Right? I watch brothers do this all the time. I watch sisters do this all the time. They keep making the same mistakes. One after another. And it always got to do with relationships. Always. You jump from one relationship, man, you like, God, she was wicked, she was this, with this. And you know what? I come back and say, AI, now you know not to jump in the wrong situations next time, right? And what's the first thing he do?
Jump into another relationship.
Like this. Like, God, you didn't listen. You didn't see what you did wrong. But now you're back in that same situation again with another woman. Same thing with the women, another man. And it's because you don't want to listen or hear them. So this is the problem. Read it again. Proverbs 24 and 8. And they give me Deuteronomy 32 and 28.
Proverbs 24 and 6.
Go ahead.
For by wise counsel thou shalt make thy war.
And that's what we're supposed to do. Who plays chess in here? When you look at the chessboard, how many steps ahead are you? Tazamat?
I try to be at least 5. At least 5.
So why ask? Not saying you, but why ask? But why say, why do we got to counsel about everything? Why is it necessary? A wise man is making, it says a wise man eyes are in his head.
That's right.
You're looking 5, 10 steps ahead. But you can't do that if you don't got the knowledge. Stop it. You don't got the knowledge, so you get help. Yeah, what you think? What you think when, and you're putting all this together like a mathematician, and then you're making your right move forward. That's how the Holy Spirit guides us. It guides us through wisdom. It guides us through the Word. And the brother's supposed to be giving you the Word. This is what the Scripture's saying. This is what you need to be doing. Y'all see that? So by wise counsel, we make war. Go from there. Go to Deuteronomy 32:28.
Look at Deuteronomy, chapter 32.
You're not there yet. You're not there, bro.
Deuteronomy 32.
You capping. I'm watching you.
Deuteronomy.
Like that 22 and 28.
Nah, bro. We don't want to hear that. Go ahead.
Deuteronomy 32 and 28.
Uh-huh.
For they are a nation void of counsel.
What's wrong with Israel?
They are a nation void of counsel.
We don't want to listen. We don't want to get advice. So you're going to keep messing up. So this is our problem, man. We got to fix that. A lot of us won't have these situations. A lot of us won't be in the mire. As a leader, you have to cherish counsel. Because you're dealing with so many people. Right? And one mistake can cause a tornado of problems. A tornado of situations. So when we move, we got to move with counsel. We got to move with advice. We got to move with wisdom. Why don't you cherish wisdom? Why don't you cherish advice? Why? Why do brothers and sisters do that? What?
Number one, they never been taught to.
Okay, true. It's never been taught. You're right. Hands up, don't shoot. I'll take that one. It's never been taught, but when it is taught, what, Ariana?
Because it's not the advice you want to hear.
Right?
Because it's not suitable to please your needs.
Yeah, but if I done made so many bad decisions,
I don't want to hear it. I still want to be told that it's okay, that I can do this. I want to hear a justification or a reasonable answer that sounds pleasing to where I know what I did was.
oh, so they like to hear smooth words.
That's exactly it.
I got you. Smooth words. Con, what?
I said they prideful.
You said what?
I said pride.
Their pride.
Doing things their own way instead of doing things the right way. Maybe it's better.
Exactly. Now let's see how the Most High did it. Go to Luke 14:31 first. Now we're going to go into a few scriptures on how and what the Most High does. Because we're supposed to be following the Most High, right? We're supposed to be following Yahweh Shai, right? Okay, we just read all these scriptures on counsel. So let's see what he says. Read that.
Luke 14 and verse 31.
Uh-huh.
Or what king going to war against another king sitteth not down first and consulting whether he be able with 10,000 to meet him that cometh against him?
Right. See? You see that? And this is why we tell brothers and sisters, man, make that dealing with old girl, bro, you know, I wouldn't do that. Why? Because she got this problem. She got this. She got that. You consult. Right? Hey, if I were you, I wouldn't live over there, because if you lived over there, that's going to take you this amount of time to get from over here to that. And it looks like you already slow as hell. You're going to be later to late. That's how Israel do, man. Little advice. It can help you. What you going to say? Go ahead.
No, it's because counsel is important, because there's little variables that you don't consider.
Yeah.
Like just in everything you just said, like you don't consider the distance.
Right.
And you're not considering the fact that you're not even acknowledging with yourself.
Right.
You're lazy. You're kind of slow to move. So it's like you're trying to live far, but then you're not even moving fast. So then you live far. So now you double time slow.
In these situations like that it's not detrimental. Life is not going to end, but you can stop heartache. You can deal with heartache. You know what I mean? What's the biggest thing that happens to brothers that come in and say they want to dedicate themselves? I'm gonna let brothers answer this one. I'm not gonna say it. Watch how this works. What's the biggest thing that happens when brothers come in and say, I want to dedicate myself to the truth? What's the first thing that happens to them? What?
I ain't got no time for myself.
Okay, what? What's the first thing?
Your girl flip out on you and your family flip out on you.
Right, and what else? They get that extra job. They get extra money. Then they ask you what? Hey, what should I do? Right? Every time. Did not it happen to you? The first thing he said, what do you think I should do? Why are you asking me? Why are you asking me? You ain't gonna listen to what I'm saying. But you know what I'm gonna say to you? I'm gonna say, what do you want to do? One is gonna take up all your time, to where if you're not showing up and getting the knowledge as it is now this other job is gonna totally take your time. You do what's in your heart, where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. But you know what that means?
Take the
It means what?
Take the job.
No, it don't mean take the job. What?
Because you said where your treasure is, that's where your heart is also. That's showing you that this was never a treasure to begin
Redo. What's up?
Would it be like a show of lack of faith also? In some way?
Con, it gets to that point. It gets to that point because obviously you're going back and forth with this question in your mind. And remember, I'm just throwing different things out there that you counsel about, you ask for advice about, you get scriptures about, and then you go opposite of that. I don't want to use the woman example all the time, because it's 99.99999 plus 9% that, right? But there's 1% to where it's other things too. And you're like, yeah, Con, you do that. Yeah. I'm pondering on that. I'm pondering how I'm not going to listen to you.
Like, I hear what you said, but I already made my decision. I ain't gonna listen.
You got to see that. What is wisdom and advice for? So you get the job, and then what happened?
You get busy.
Then you get busy, but what really happened in your spirit? Right, but then you ask yourself, and you go back and forth with yourself about it. Why are you going to ask me? I already told you from the beginning what was going to happen. Now you're going back and forth in your mind. It's things like this, man, that brothers and sisters got to see why counsel is good. But you got to listen to advice. Now, is anybody putting a gun to your head? Could anybody make you? But you got the counsel, and you don't listen to the counsel. What? You got to talk loud and clear.
What I said, another thing, you can't ask for counsel, but then also have issues with pride.
We're going to get there. I'm on track with you. Let's get through these. Read where you at.
Luke 14 and 31.
Go ahead.
Or what king going to war against another king?
Right.
Sitteth not down first, and counseleth whether he be able with 10,000 to be him that cometh against him with 20,000.
That's what we're supposed to be doing. Every battle, every fight. Right? Go to 2 Chronicles 18 and 18. Let's see what the Most High does. 2 Chronicles 18 and 18. Read. You're going to read 18 and 18 down to 21.
2 Chronicles chapter 18, verse 18. Again he said, therefore hear the word of the Lord. I saw the Lord sitting upon his throne, and all the hosts of heaven standing on his right hand.
Go ahead.
And on his left.
Right.
And the Lord said, who shall entice Ahab, king of Israel?
Right. Now, this is the Most High. He knows all things. But what is he showing us? What, alright?
He's getting counsel. He's having counsel.
He's having counsel. He's not, remember, nobody can counsel or be the counselor to the Most High.
Right.
But he's having counsel with the angels. So you trying to tell me the angelic beings of the Most High. This is what trips me out with niggas, man. If you try to tell me that God and the holy angels can counsel, but you already know. Y'all are tripping, man. Go ahead.
That he may go up and fall at Ramoth.
Gilead.
And one spake, saying, after this manner.
Right.
And another saying, after this manner.
Right. So you got spirits jumping up and trying to see who can be the one to go get this king to fall. So you got a council, a heavenly council. What is it with Israel then? Go to Psalms 82 and 1. Psalms 82 and 1. Go ahead.
Psalms 82 and 1.
Go ahead.
God standeth in the congregation of the mighty.
Right.
He judgeth amongst the gods.
He judges amongst the powers. So the Most High makes moves with counsel. What king goeth to war and sit not down and count the cost. Who does that? Niggas. A fool. A fool. Right? Our people ignorant and foolish and not having knowledge. They just go by, they don't think, they don't foreshadow, they don't foresee, they don't think, dang, if I do this, this is going to happen to this. If I make a move over here, then I'm not going to be able to do that. They're not seeing the moves they're making are going to cause consequences. So the Father deals with counsel. So we got to see that if we follow the Father, then we got to follow counsel. Go to Ecclesiastes 44:1. Y'all can read that the Second Chronicles. 2 Chronicles 18 and 18 on down. You can read the rest of that. His point was, who was going to go down and deceive this king? And when he was sitting there and counseling with these evil angels that were going to do it. And who was eager to do his will. Right? Read that. Ecclesiastes 44, verse 1.
Come on. The book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 44, and verse 1. Let us now praise famous men and have fathers that beget us.
Right?
The Lord has wrought great glory by them through his great power from the beginning. Such as did bear rule in their kingdom.
Such as did, pronounce, please, so they can hear you online. Such as did bear rule in their kingdom. Go ahead.
Men renowned for their power, giving counsel.
Right. So these men, you got to think about the Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. There were young children that was counseling the king. These were kids counseling a king. So you got to think how bad we were. We weren't just, man, we was wise. We was moving with intelligence. We was running and making decisions out that was going to change the course and actions of our captivity over and over again. And that's what Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego was dealing with. That's what Deborah and Barak dealt with, counsel. That's what Moses dealt with, was counsel. Going to the angel all the time to ask him, to tell him, to report to him. Right? He wasn't just making moves by himself. Moses was moving with counsel. And that don't mean you're stupid. That don't mean you're not a man. You're crazy as hell. Right now, how we grew up, we need to understand that the wisdom that we've been using is the wisdom of the world. So that don't make you not a man because, well, bro, I just want to handle it by myself, because I like to just handle things on my own. Bro, that's not what the Bible says. You don't know how to handle it. You don't. You're making the wrong decisions. And you don't see that? The repercussions of what you're doing? So, no, it's not wrong, man. Read on.
Come on. And declaring prophecies.
And they did what?
Declaring prophecies.
Go ahead.
Leaders of the people.
Right.
By their counsels and by their knowledge.
You see that? Leaders of the people by their counsels. What was Samuel doing to Saul? What was Samuel doing to David? It was counseling. The only ones that didn't want to counsel was what? High-minded cats. Even Saul. When Saul was off, what did he want to do? What did he do? He rose Samuel from the dead just to get advice from him. He's like, the Most High is not talking to me no more. But you see those days, man, you got brothers like, you don't care if the Most High is talking to you. Why? Because your lust is, your pride is, your doubt is, your jealousy is, your anger is. You know what I mean? Yeah, I get what you're saying, but y'all don't understand me. No, we don't care to understand you. Because your understanding is wrong. We got to see why the Most High tells us about counsel and advice. Read on. That's it on that. Jump from there. Go to Job 29 and 21. So this is what the Most High did. So you can't say it's wrong.
God.
Read.
Job chapter 29, verse 21. Unto me men gave ear. And
Wait, I'm sorry. We didn't finish the 4. We didn't finish that 4 verse. Hold that. Let me finish that 4 verse. Ecclesiastes 44 and verse 4.
Come on. Ecclesiastes chapter 44 and verse 4.
My bad. Go ahead.
Leaders of the people by their counsel and by their knowledge of learning.
And by their knowledge of learning. They had to learn. You had to learn. We weren't giving advice. I'm not giving advice like when I was a kid. I had to put away childish things. Or I would be giving you advice according to my lust and my pride and my doubts. That's why I got to be out of the scriptures. Paul gave advice all the time. But his advice was straight from the Spirit. Even when he said, you know what? This is just me giving you wisdom. Guess what? It was the Spirit. Or it wouldn't be written in here. So it says, leaders of people, by their counsels and by their knowledge of learning, meet for the people. Meet, meaning good for the people. Read.
Wise and eloquent in their instruction.
You see that? Wise and eloquent in their instruction. In their leading, their advice, their counsel. You want to say something? No. Okay, go from there. Go to, now go to Job.
Job chapter 29, verse 21.
Go ahead.
Unto me men gave ear.
Right.
And waited, and kept silence at my counsel.
See? Wait a minute, they talking over Job.
Kept silence at my counsel.
They ask you for counsel, but don't want to hear and don't want to listen. No, they were listening. He said, man, they took heed to my counsel. Read.
After my word they spake not again.
Why? Because he shut them up. They couldn't say nothing after what he said. They're like, okay, Con, yeah, that's book. You have to go think about that. Read.
And my speech dropped upon them.
And it said my speech what?
Dropped upon them.
He dropped it on them, man. Read.
And they waited for me.
They what?
And they waited for me.
Hey, man, I gotta hit that brother up, man. Hey, Joe, where you at? Let me get some counsel, Read.
As for the rain, and they opened their mouth.
You know why it says as the rain? Because now you feel replenished. Damn, I'm glad I rapped to that, brother. I needed to get that off of me. That's why 2 or 3 years there's Christ. But when you counseling with the warlock in your room, the demon that jumps off you and hides in the corner of the room, and you what? The only time you talk to him is when you sipping. You know what I mean? Like, where you at? And he comes over there like a ghoul. Remember on The Passion? That little baby? The little demon baby they had? It'd be that guy. That's who you counseling with, man. The spooky guy, the spooky kid. Go ahead.
That Kevin Costner movie, Mr. Brooks. He was a serial killer, and he was always talking with that guy and getting his advice from that guy.
And it was him.
It was always him.
It was always him.
Yeah.
There's the other one with J-Lo. I forgot the name of that one. She was counseling with her own mind the whole time. It wasn't nobody but her. And that's what we got to see, that that's not what the scriptures say. That's going to get you into problems. So all that, I don't need no man. Bruh, the scripture said where 2 or 3 is, there's Christ. Oh, I can counsel with the Most High? How? Where where 2 or 3 is, there is Christ. Woe to him that is left alone. They often spake to each other. What are you talking about? You can't counsel by yourself. We're going to show you why. That's it. Drop it on there. Go to 1 Timothy 3 and 6. Yeah, got that. Oh. Right. No, we're going to get that. Read that, 1 Timothy 3 and 6. And you've been saying it the whole class, but I saved it for last. This last point. So the first point we went over just counsel. It's necessary. The second point we touched over the Most High counsels. The third point we're going to go into why you don't want to counsel. Why a lot of people don't want to counsel. So read that, 1 Timothy 3 and 6.
1 Timothy chapter 3 verse 6. Not a novice, lest being filled up with pride.
That's why they don't want to counsel. Because a lot of times you're a novice that's lifted up with pride. Now we know the context. He's saying don't be that. But that's the problem. You're a novice. You don't know. But you what? No, you know what? I'm going to do it my way. Why not go to this brother? Because he's going to tell me the wrong thing. You be a novice and then lift it up with pride. What's the outcome of that? Destruction. What is a novice?
Beginner.
Yeah, it's like, why you can't just be humble and say, you know what? I don't know, You know what I mean? I had to realize if I didn't talk to officers over me, I would continually been a bad husband, a bad father, a bad brother. I had to watch. I had to ask. I had to talk to brothers. See what they were doing. Look at the mistakes. And then say, no, you know what? I got to covet the best gifts. But that's through counsel. That's why I said they often what? Spake to each other. Where 2 or 3 is there, Christ. Right. Woe to him that is left alone. When he falls, who would be there to pick him up? That little demon baby. Come with me. Igor, come with me. My precious there. That person is picking you up. But a lot of this comes through you being a novice, but mixed with pride. Go from there. Go to Galatians 6 and 3. Y'all ready for the daggers?
Galatians chapter 6 verse 3.
Go ahead.
Galatians chapter 6 and verse 3.
Go ahead.
For if a man think himself to be something,
right?
when he is nothing, he deceiveth himself.
So what's usually the problem?
He deceiveth himself.
No, but what's usually the problem? He thinks himself to be something.
Right.
He thinks himself to be something when really you're just a novice. You're just a beginner. Why you can't sit down and be humble?
You say, no, I'm not that guy, but if you listen to advice, you're getting shown you are that guy. I'm not that way, but if you look at
your actions, you are that guy. Like, remember, none of this is, what's going to happen? Anybody going to stone you? Anybody going to hang you up in the back and beat you with whips? No. It doesn't. That's why my whole new thing, from here on out, my 40s to whenever Yahushua takes me, either through death or through the spirit, we ain't fighting with you. You can cap, you can hallelujah, you can argue. We're not fighting. We're not here to fight with anybody. We're going to tell you, if you don't want to hear, it's on you. That's how it has to be. Why? Because, or else we'll be struggling with you to listen. You came for the help, but then you don't want the help. I don't get it. You came for the help, but you don't like the way it's coming. Well, what way you like it? Because the churches gave it to you smooth. You want us to do the same thing, and you're hard-headed as hell, so we can't come that way. So what are we supposed to do? Because I know you Jews. You'll run right over a nigga, quick. You would have the prophets, the apostles thinking they crazy. I'm in that Jeremiah, man. They did Jeremiah dirty. He said his own people was in his face. When the king locked him up and they smote him, you know, everybody seeing what was going on and nobody was there for him. We know what Israel do, right? Israel, bruh, when they're in the wrong mind, they will abandon ship on the Most High. So we can't let that determine. We can't let you determine the spirit of things. You doubt all the way. You barely come to class. We left it up to you. There won't be no class. There won't be no motivation. We'll just be working and being at home. Come on, man. We can't leave it up to that. Y'all got to see y'all direction, your mind state is not proper. This is the proper way. A lot of times you get caught up into your pride and keep thinking you're something you're not. That's where we fall. What?
An analogy on what you're saying. It's like they teach it in like when you're reading a lifeguard that when sometimes you got that person who's drowning, they're panicking, and in the help of trying to rescue them, they end up killing themselves and you because they want the help, but then once they get the help, they're still caught up in the panic.
Yeah.
They're still thinking, I got it.
Right.
But they kill themselves and you.
Damn.
Yeah.
Well said. Well said. Go to read that one more time and go to Ecclesiastes. Ecclesiastes 10 to 12. So this was a question. I mean, obviously we took it all the way through, but I thought it was a good question. And I would hate for a brother, sister to be moving around us and they're like, why they always ask for advice or ask for this? Like, what is that about? I'm going to say it again for everybody in class that's here, online. Advice is not putting a gun to your head and saying you have to go with it.
That's right.
Advice is wisdom. Now, if you want to apply that, then you apply that. If you don't, then the Spirit will show you whether it was good or evil. You see? So you got to see why the Scriptures tell you to do it through advice. Because you don't know. Read it one more time.
Galatians chapter 6 and verse 3. For if a man think himself to be something,
right,
when he is nothing,
right,
he deceiveth himself.
And that got to stop. Read that, Ecclesiastes 10 and 12.
Ecclesiastes chapter 10 and verse 12. The beginning of pride is when one departed from the Most High.
And when you think you know every damn thing, when you think you're the guy, when you think you nobody can tell you anything. And by the way, I can be told something. Not just by you though. Not by you. Because the scriptures say, until your obedience is fulfilled, then you can speak. You know who checks me? The brothers, my peers, or brothers over me. High priest Yeshua can check me. Because he knows he's going to know.
God.
You can't check yourself, so how you going to check anybody? You see that? It don't work like that. It doesn't work like that. You're checked by your peers or brothers over you. You can't see that far. I know it's pride. I know. You're like, what? No, you can't. Just like I'm not going to go check my elders. I'm not going to check them. I don't care what they do. That's them. I'm doing what I do. The Most High got to deal with them. Did David check Saul? So who the hell are you then?
Right.
See, y'all got to see that you don't have the counsel. You don't have the wisdom. The proper way is the way the Most High says. We got to do it that way. That's gonna be the things that lead us in the path of making the right decisions. Y'all got to get your mind right when it comes to a lot of these things, man. And see that your thoughts are wrong. You want to be fixed, but you keep doing things the way of the world. And then you want to come and look at us and examine. How you do that? How it work? You can't fix nothing in your life, but you can come up here and examine. Tell me how that works. Somebody, yell at me, please. How does it work in your mind? How? I'm waiting.
It's justification and I don't think like that, so I can't. But I know the reasoning.
No. The thing is this.
What?
You look through your warped ass glasses, and you think you see things that you have no idea what to deal with, or how to do, or how to deal with.
Delusions of grandeur come.
That's why the scriptures say, when your obedience is fulfilled, you can't check nobody until you start doing right. Then you can see clearly to check others. Matthew 7:1. You can't see right when you got a beam in your eye and you trying to take the mote out of another brother's.
That's right.
It doesn't work like that. Where you at?
Ecclesiastes chapter 10, verse 12, second precept.
Go ahead.
And his heart is turned away from his maker.
Pride is what is going to obscure you to be able to hear and listen. The funny thing is, I'm going to take it back to what I said earlier. We still listen to you. We still hear you out. Because you might have some input. But the problem is, you don't want to listen to nobody. You don't want to hear nothing. You'll hear Jake. You'll hear your own mind. You'll hear your mama. You definitely will hear that black woman in your house with the loud mouth. You'll hear her quick. But you won't listen to the right thing. Pride. Go ahead.
Verse 13. For pride is the beginning of sin, and he that hath it shall pour out abomination.
Why did I put that in there? Because in order for you to hear counsel, in order for you to listen, you got to have humility. Pride will shut your ears. You don't want to hear nothing from nobody else but yourself. Go to Ecclesiastes 32 and 18. That brings us here. Ecclesiastes 32 and 18.
The book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 32, verse 18.
Go ahead.
A man of counsel will be considerate, but a strange and proud man.
A strange. You know why it says strange? Because you're acting like a heathen. You're strange to the will of the knowledge, the wisdom of the Most High. A strange and proud man, now we see why he ain't considerate. He won't consider things. He won't look at things. He won't counsel. A proud man does not consider. He's going to move rashly. He's going to move out of pride. Watch, read it again.
A man of counsel will be considerate.
See, a man that counsels, that understands advice and understands that wisdom, he will consider things and say, dang, before I do that, man, let me make the right move. Let me ask. Go ahead.
But a strange and proud man is not daunted with fear.
What does that mean? That means he won't fear to make the wrong decision or move because of his pride. Because of his pride, he just jumped right into it. You know what I mean? And then you try to do what? Oh, I did it because, it just had to. Now you're trying to explain yourself. You try to explain yourself out of it. Instead of just saying, damn, I moved foolishly. I moved rashly. I wasn't putting the Most High first. Read.
Even when of himself he hath done without counsel.
See? Even when he done without counsel, he still won't have fear because of that pride. Y'all see that? So pride mingled with this is a bad deal. Go to Proverbs 14 and 12.
Proverbs chapter 14, verse 12.
Go ahead.
There is a way which seemeth right unto a man.
Right.
But the end thereof are the ways of death.
Yeah, you always got a way that seems right to a brother. So I'm going to go back to the statement I said earlier. Why does he not leave us alone? Why? Because you can fall into the trap of your mind. You fall into it. Just prove your own selves. I know that about myself. Once you get caught up and you keep thinking you know the way, bro, unless you counsel, your way a lot of times can be off. It can be off. So I'll counsel, and if it's right, then the brother will confirm it. And you can say, oh, you know what? Damn, I was on the right path then. You see that? But if all the time it's like opposite of what you think, there's something wrong. Your mind is not on the right cylinders, man. Because there's a way that seems right to you, but a lot of times those situations are going to lead you to death. So this is why brothers don't communicate with a lot of brothers. Why? Because what happens when you're around, your mind is going to be picked. Right? You don't want to talk a lot because now it's going to reveal what is in your mind. That's why you don't want to talk a lot. And then what's in your mind, you're going to get checked. You don't want to get checked because there's what? We're right back to the same place. It's pride. You don't counsel, you don't talk, you don't communicate because of pride. It's a bad sitch, man. Read it one more time.
There is a way which seemeth right unto a man, but the end thereof are the ways of death.
But the end thereof are the ways of death. Proverbs 12, verse 15. Proverbs 12, verse 15. Read it.
Proverbs 12, verse 15.
There you go.
The way of the fool is right. It is on high.
You see that? So what's the problem? The fool is right in his own eyes. You're right in your own mind. But who'd you counsel with? Don't tell me you counsel with another idiot, please. Please. Who'd you counsel with? Who'd you counsel with wisdom? Go ahead, read.
But he that hearkeneth unto counsel is wise.
Right, but he that hearkeneth unto counsel is wise. So I'm just showing y'all, man, that I'm hoping that this makes sense to the brother that asked the question that, yeah, we're going to do things to counsel, man. We got to make the best decisions as possible. We got to make the smallest error in things that is possible. So yeah, we gotta counsel.
15 and 22.
You say something?
I said it was 1 and 15 and 22 as well.
Con. Let's go there.
Proverbs chapter 15 and verse 22. Without counsel, purposes are disappointed.
Right.
But in the multitude of counselors, they are established.
Right. In a multitude of counselors, they are established. So we don't just counsel with 1, 2. We might counsel with 3 or 4. We might counsel with all, depending on the subject. Right. We might counsel with all eight of the officers. And say, listen, we're going to get into this right here. Right? What do y'all think? Right? When everybody had a sacrifice, they were paid at one time and said, we're trying to do this business. What did we do? We got everybody on the phone. It wasn't just one brother. Oh, not me. Hell God. I learned. I make that decision on my own. Oh, I didn't say that. That's not what I wanted to do, brother. I'm going to get you on the phone. What do y'all think? This is the decision we want to make. This is what we want to do. What do y'all think? Because if you ain't down with it, I'm going to hear your voice. And say, okay, the brother ain't down with it. Make sure he gets taken care of. Everybody else, are we going to come together with this and do this? Why? Because my experience in Israel is this. A lot of our people don't want to do things that they act like they want to do.
That's right.
So you got to counsel with a lot of things. You got to talk. You got to communicate with who you're around. You see that? In the house, why does the relationships fail? Why does your house, why is it moving on one end to the next? Because you got the woman over here and the man moving on another end, and they're not counseling, getting together and communicating and talking about how they're going to go to war for their house. So there's no counsel. You see? So the man is supposed to be the lead, but even in that, he still goes and says, babe, this is what I want to do. What you think about it? Now, listen to this. If I always go to you and I say, baby, this is what we're going to do. And you're always telling me, no, there's something wrong with your counsel. Because you're not balanced. So I got to know if you're going to follow and if your mind is right. I got to know who I'm counseling with. You can't counsel with a fool. You can't counsel with a person that's imbalanced. You can't counsel with a person that is looking out for their own agenda. You can't counsel with that. You see that? You can't. You got to counsel with someone that's going to tell that got no skin in the game in a lot of subjects and be able to say, look, this is what the scriptures say. Right? And majority of the situations of the problems is like that. Brothers don't got skin in the game. It's like, if I were you, I wouldn't do that. If I were you, I wouldn't make that decision. Because it's going to do this. And that's why it's easy. Because we don't have skin in the game. So we got to see that. Go to Proverbs 26 and 12.
Proverbs chapter 26 and verse 12.
Hold on. Wait till everybody get it. Give me 1 second. Proverbs 26 and 12. What's the one we just went to?
Proverbs 15 and 22.
15 and 22, right?
Right.
And then where we headed?
Proverbs chapter 26 and verse 12.
Okay, go ahead.
Proverbs chapter 26 and verse 12. Seest thou a man wise in his own conceit?
Mm-hmm.
There is more hope of a fool than of him.
Right. So this is why a lot of times that brothers don't talk, don't counsel. So you gotta watch that pride and what you're doing, and ask yourself this: where's my life headed? That's it. Where's my situation? Why am I always stumbling? Why am I always having to face the east again and ask the Most High for forgiveness again? What am I not thinking of? And you'll see, man, I'm counseling with the wrong people. I'm counseling with the wrong mind. Read it one more time.
Proverbs 26 and 12.
Didn't we do that?
Seest thou a man wise in his own conceit? There is more hope of a fool than of him.
Right, there's more hope for a fool than him. Let's finish it up with this one. Go to Proverbs 3 and 7.
Proverbs chapter 3, verse 7.
Uh-huh.
Be not wise in thy own eyes.
Do what?
Be not wise in thy own eyes.
Go ahead.
Fear the Lord and depart from evil.
Right. You can't be wise in your own eyes. There was something I missed. Hold on. There was something I wanted to add to here. I missed. It's a. Oh, dang. It was Ecclesiastes 32. Hold on 1 second. And 18.
More than 19?
Yeah.
Done. Ecclesiastes.
Oh, no. That, we already went to it.
You didn't do that.
That was my first scripture when class started. Yeah, that was my first scripture when class started. So yeah, we got that. Do y'all got any questions on that?
You want?
Yeah, what you got?
Proverbs 12 and 15.
There's like 1,000 more scriptures, by the way. But go ahead. Where you at?
No.
I'm with you. There's a lot more scriptures on counsel.
Well, then let me hit the ultimate one that I wanted.
Okay.
Isaiah chapter 30 and verse 1.
Okay, let's go there.
You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying?
I like that. Go to Isaiah 30 and 1.
You got where's the Aqua?
Book of Isaiah, chapter 30, verse 1.
Go ahead.
Woe to the rebellious children.
So the Most High is already letting you know from the beginning, the people who don't take advice from the men he appointed are rebellious children, and that your end is going to be destruction. Go ahead.
Saith the Lord, that take counsel, but not of me.
Now you're getting advice, but it's not established by the Most High. If they didn't go through the scriptures to show you the reasoning and why to do what you would do or not to do what you want to do.
Right. By you saying men of the Most High, it's men that will pull the knowledge.
Right.
And show you, direct your path in the knowledge.
Right.
Okay, go ahead.
It makes sense of what your actions are trying to do through the scriptures.
Right.
Go ahead.
And the covered with a covering, but not of my spirit.
Because you're trying to take this form of protection, but it's not okay by the Most High. He didn't give it a step of approval. Go ahead.
That they may add sin to sin.
Because all you're going to end up doing is making a bigger hole for you to fill with your corpse because of your disobedience. That's it.
Yeah. Y'all got any questions on that? I know we ran with it, but usually, like I said, it's like, I always feel like we can keep going and going and going. I just, 2 hours, we just pull kind of the meat and the potatoes and then put them in here, but there's a lot more we can go into on this. All right? Like, you know, it'll be like Zion. This was part 1. We're going to do part 2, part 3, part 4. And I told Zion, there's always a part 2. There's always a part 3 because there's many ways we can attack this subject. So I'm hoping that helped. Those major points dealing with counsel. All right? Yeah.
And because, you know what it's beautiful about this class? Is because you got to realize, and it took a butt whooping for me to realize, you don't have to play with fire and get burned to know that the crap hurts. You know what I mean?
Right.
If you listen to counsel or advice, I don't care if it's the slightest suggestion, then you should take it with like severity and act upon it. You know, I'm thinking back to my situation with you. This is all the way back in Colorado. You know what I mean? I got some advice from you. I was like, hey, should I act upon this your iPod? And you were like, you thought about it, you answered it real quick. You're like, it don't sound right, sir. I wouldn't. And I got off the phone with you. I was like, wait a minute. Like I ain't even explain the whole thing.
By you not listening to that advice, how many years did it get you?
18.
There you go.
Yeah. And it was.
You don't gotta listen to that advice.
That's what I'm saying.
But you gonna get your ass whooped when you don't, because remember, usually a person looking from the outside that don't got no footing in it is gonna tell you the right thing. A spiritual person.
Right.
That's gonna be led by the Most High. So I know you wanted to do it because that's what you wanted.
Yeah.
But
it was quick. It was easy.
You sometimes we're clouded by faulty ambitions, emotions, and you don't see it. So you need a brother to be like, don't do that, brother, sis, don't do that, right? One more scripture, just on what you were saying. One of our favorite. I mean, go to Job 33. One of our favorites. We always I say we always, but you're going to read Job 33 in
verse 14?
No, 23.
Job chapter 33, verse 23.
Go ahead.
If there be a messenger with him.
If there be a what?
If there be a messenger.
If there be a what?
Messenger.
The messenger is the Hebrew Israelites, the ones that are woke to tell them, you're the messenger on where you're at in your stage and your level. And you go to them and tell them what? Christmas is a lie.
Right.
You be the messenger. Right? But on our on our level, on our stage, we might be in a different realm to help you out. We might be saying, hey, that's not the right way, just like you told the other person what? Don't eat pork? We're here to tell you, hey, come, you know not to eat pork. We're past that. But at the stage you're at, we're trying to help you through that. If there be a messenger, go ahead.
An interpreter.
Right, one that can go through the Bible and say, hey, nah, flip that, hit that, go there, get that, read that. Now read it again. All right, you got that?
From the top.
If there be one interpreter, go ahead.
One among 1,000.
Yeah, there be one brother. You're the one brother that is the voice of reasoning to your family.
That's right.
We're the voice of reasoning to you. If there be one brother, one sister, go ahead.
Among 1,000.
Read.
To show unto man his uprightness.
What is he saying? Well, in your eyes, there's a way that seemeth right unto a man. But you ain't upright as you thought you were. So you need to be shown your uprightness. That what? I wouldn't do that if I were you.
That's right.
Actually, there's a scripture that goes right with this that point he just made right there. But it says if there be a messenger
to show unto man his uprightness.
Go ahead.
Then he is gracious unto him.
Then he is what?
Gracious.
Where does the grace come from? But according to this, what is it telling us? Where's the grace coming from? We know the Most High. The Most High orchestrating everything. But how is he orchestrating in this?
The grace comes from you listening to the messenger.
Read it again.
If there be a messenger.
The grace is there is a messenger. The Most High sent somebody. Because you were what? Lord, get me out of this. I don't want to do this no more. I don't want to live this life no more, Lord. Bro, if you take these bullets out of me, I'm going to change it. I'm going to change my life, Yahweh. If you get me out of this 30-year prison, everything, you're not going to get one baby. You're going to get all the kids, right? And then right when you get off, you're like, really? I mean, for real, I got to give you all my kids. But that's what you said. You said that. Like he was telling us a story. He was telling us a story, the situation he wanted to get out of and the prayers he set up. And he's like, I got one more thing to do. He's like, he made these vows to the Most High, and he knows. That's what he made. And we know you made vows. Because you're a Hebrew Israelite. You were crying to the Lord. That's what the Bible said. And you were crying and you said things. And the Most High sent you what?
A messenger.
Right. Hey, brother, you know you're a Hebrew Israelite? Right? Really? Yeah. Oh, here you go, bro. Read.
A messenger with him.
Read.
An interpreter, one among 1,000.
Go ahead.
To show unto man his uprightness.
Go ahead.
Then is he gracious unto him.
That's the grace. Go ahead.
And say, deliver him from going down into the pit.
The Most High uses that man through prayer, through teaching, right? To deliver you from the pit. And here's that scripture that goes with that. I'll read it as Proverbs 18 and 17. It says, he that is first in his own cause seemeth just, but his neighbor cometh and searcheth him. Meaning that you right in your own eyes until your neighbor come and be like, nah, bro, this is way off. Right? That was
Proverbs 18 and 17.
Proverbs 18 and 17. So read where you're at.
Come. Then he is gracious unto him, and say, deliver him from going down to the pit.
Right.
I have found a ransom.
Go ahead.
That's it.
Yes. Go ahead.
Verse 25. His flesh shall be fresher than a child.
That's what listening to wisdom and counsel and knowledge. And that's what you're saying, right? When you give them the knowledge and you want them to turn from Christmas, Halloween, Thanksgiving, Easter, and all the foolishness, right? What are you saying? You're saying, listen, man, the Most High is being gracious to you. Hear the words of the Lord so you can be saved from your situation. And you would be fresher. You would be enlightened, right? Where are you at?
Ecclesiastes chapter 37, verse 14 through 16.
Okay, this will be the last one. Like I told you, we can do this all night.
Ecclesiastes, you said chapter 37?
Come.
Verse 14?
Yes, sir.
Come. Oh, yeah. Yeah, Ecclesiastes chapter 37 and verse 14. For a man's mind is sometimes wont to tell him more than 7 watchmen.
Right, so, I mean, if you're examining yourself, you know what you're going through. You know you're going through this. Like, and especially if you got bad advice. You got all these things talking to you. Right? Go ahead.
That sit above in a high tower.
Go ahead.
And above all this prayer to the Most High.
But if your prayer ain't in the spirit, if you ain't asking the Most High to direct your steps, then where's your steps gonna be? You're gonna stumble more than often. Go ahead.
That He will direct thy way.
See? You want Him to direct your way. He sent you the messenger, but you ain't listening to that. So you're listening to who? The 7 spirits in your brain telling you which ways to go. And isn't that confusing? When I'm up here on the podium, and if 7 of y'all start talking over me, how much will we get accomplished?
Nothing.
It'd be chaotic.
Just noise.
But that's what's in your brain. The anxiety, the hurt, the doubt, the lust, all these different individuals. Read.
Verse 16.
Go ahead.
Let reason go before every enterprise.
And that's what you're supposed to be doing. You're supposed to let reason go before every enterprise. What is the reason? Counsel. Reasoning. Go ahead.
And counsel before every action.
There you go. Before every action. You just see that? It's not, that's too much counsel. No. Hell no, it's not. You don't do enough of communication, enough of counsel. Well,
now it's like the counsel is so important because it's like the Most High freed you from the world.
Right.
You was a slave. You was living like a slave. You was thinking like a slave. You was eating like a slave.
Right.
So like now He's trying to free you, and He sent this interpreter who's gotten freed by another interpreter.
Right.
And He's like, you're rejecting the interpreter who got freed. He's trying to lead you into freedom.
The same guy or same brother or same knowledge you listened to in the first place.
So it's like,
yeah, but you only listen to don't eat pork, keep the Sabbath. But when it gets real, you don't want to hear those things. I mean, y'all get that, right? Yes. This is a beautiful subject. All right. Did anybody got any questions online?
It says, Shalom, my brothers and sisters. Gabar made the statement.
Yeah.
Bakar made the statement. He said, people like to coach from the sidelines when I was coaching youth sports. There'll always be a parent that want to have something to say, but don't sacrifice and commit their time to the job.
Bruh, you ain't never lied. That is the truth right there. Oh, man. There's always a backseat driver. All right. Was that it? Anybody else? Okay, good question. Y'all keep coming with the questions, man. I like questions because it throws off, like, it just brings us into different subjects. So keep coming with them if y'all got them, all right? Anything else online? Nothing? Okay. The Water brothers and sisters for tuning in. Y'all know the deal. With Lord willing, we will be back here Thursday.
That's right.
All right? So let's salute them. Everybody say shalom.
Shalom!
Yes, sir.